What's good?
How we doing?
Another list of tears. Toxic Shock coming at you with tears.
And beers.
And beers.
Tears and beers.
And monsters.
Kyle drinks Monstars.
Yes, my name's Kyle. I don't know why I sounded like not Kyle.
I sounded like not Kyle because I'm Kyle. Kyle.
Yeah. God damn it, Kyle. But we're doing like Moths to Flames today. And we're doing their albums. And I kind of wish we would have did their EPs, but we decided not to. Because they have two EPs.
And they're fire.
The last one their most recent release we did for a album review, even though it's an EP, it's not really an album for our thing. Podcast, that's what it is.
Yeah, boy.
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we did that. It was absolutely one of the best things I think they've ever produced.
Dude, it was so great.
Yeah. It had all the right flow switches and stuff like that. Super heavy. But we're gonna get into their five albums that they have. Not
Sure.
five most recent because they only have five albums. So, of course, it's their five most recent ones. But
Right.
we're gonna start with the first one. It's called "Eye for an Eye," and it was released in 2013. That is their second album that they released.
Okay.
Yep. Let's start with you.
This was like one of the hardest tier lists that I've ever had to do, to be fair. Like, listening to this album, like, it literally brought back when I was in Hot Topic. Like, this album, I remember being on the shelves when I was working there.
Yeah.
So, like, it just brought back so much nostalgia of, like, why I used to listen to this band. And, like, I kind of fell off on it, honestly. So, like, this was a nice, like, go back. That puts it right in the S tier for me.
S tier.
Yeah.
This is their best album they've ever made. Besides their EP.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. I got 5 reasons. I got 6 reasons actually.
You solemnly swear?
I solemnly swear that this is not a common misconception because I have a feast for crows in my dreams after I black out. But the whole album is fucking fantastic.
I just love when my serpent herders are into the ground.
You only have one serpent herder though.
Yeah, you know.
I don't want to discuss this.
Hey, that's my own personal hell. All right.
Yeah, that's the lyrics from a song.
'Cause I'm the Lord of Bones.
Lord of Being Bone.
You know what? You'll burn because it's a feast for crows.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, hands down, I don't. There's not a bad song on there.
No, not a single one.
And every time I think of like Moss of Flames, I think of this album and I solemnly swear, and the song "A Feast for Crows" because like they just go so hard. Even though I believe "A Common Misconception" is a better song than "A Feast for Crows," but it's just like they're like right there neck and neck.
Dude,
like
they're
fucking minuscule amounts away from each other, and it just is insane. So
we should do a headbang challenge to like Moss of Flames. We gotta find one.
that would be insane.
Yeah.
I would go nuts.
It'd be rough and tough.
Yeah. The next album is Dark Divine. Sorry, not to dive. I almost said dive. Still said dive. Dark Divine. God. Ooh. Came out in 2017. This is their 4th studio album. And I'll start with this one. This is their worst album. This is C tier for me.
They have a lot of Harry Potter song references.
In this?
So this one has Mischief Managed on it. The first album has I Solemnly Swear.
That's their second. Look, I'm
that.
just yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the first one we just did.
Okay.
Um, so I still put this album in A.
You put it in A. I think this is their
So
worst
I
album.
would say it is their worst album, but it's not a bad album.
I'm ranking this off of them. That's how I'm doing this.
Okay.
I don't think they have an album that's not.
So like I should put SABCD. Is that what you're saying?
No. I guess just like what I think and what they're capable of as a band to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying like, oh, you need to rank them A, B, C, D.
Yeah,
E.
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, so how I kind of did this, so I listened to all of them separately, and then I just put it on shuffle.
Yeah.
And if I had to skip a track, that was what dropped the album down.
Okay.
I didn't skip a single track, so it fucked my whole brain over. At all.
Yeah.
All week. I listened to this band. The only thing I listened to was them on shuffle this whole week.
Like I have like a song from this album that I like is Nowhere Left to Sing. That's like my favorite song from that album. It's great, don't get me wrong, and I still enjoy all of the songs on there, but it was so much different because they released that single right before this album too, and I thought it was going to be on there. Let me find it because I don't. Bury Your Pain.
Yeah.
Which I was hoping was going to be on there and it was going to be very similar to that. Wasn't.
Right.
So I was like kind of upset about it. So like maybe it's like kind of like a grudge thing, like. But yeah.
Well, and it's funny because that song came out the same time as the album "The Dying Things We Live For."
No, that came out in 2015. That You Bury Your Pain came out in
2016.
I thought 2016.
Nope. Yeah, they're both 15.
Oh.
And then this came out in 17.
I'm very certain that song came out after
the album.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Good to know. I was just reading, so I was curious. Yeah. To be fair,
I'm pretty sure. I guess I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. I will. We do read them.
We actually do.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Sometimes I don't reply to all of them because I don't know what to say to some of them. But I like all of them.
Okay, so Bury Your Pain came out April 6th, 2015.
Okay.
And The Dying Things We Live For came out October 23rd, 2015. So it came out after.
Oh.
So the album before this one came out before that single.
Okay. So
after that single.
Let's just go to that album then.
Yeah, that throws me out. That made my brain hurt.
Yeah, so The Dying Things The Dying Things We Live For, that's the next one we're gonna do. We're gonna skip their most recent album, which is this one down here.
Yes.
So we're gonna skip that one. We're gonna go to this one. I think this is an A tier. It's very good. It's got a good mix. Fighting with Fire, it probably has one of their catchiest choruses that is a singing chorus.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit more like a little bit harsher version of A Day to Remember this album to me.
A little bit, yeah.
It's just a tad bit heavier, but very A Day to Remember-y, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely they remind me a lot of A Day to Remember's like heavier things in a lot they do. This album I put a second spot. So to me, this is their worst album.
Okay.
Me personally.
Yeah, that's fine.
There was a lot more singing.
Yeah.
And the album cover looks like the female reproductive system. So every time it popped up in my car, I was like, oh, listening to that again.
Yeah.
But still, nothing is below an A tier for this band to me. So, like, when I was listening to it, I was like, this is 10 times... Everything that was on this album was 10 times better than some of the A Day to Remember albums. So I was like, for me, when I put those in the B, I was like, well, to me, these are better than those Bs. And that was kind of how I built mine up.
So would you say, like, Moths to Flames is a better band than A Day to Remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Hands down.
All right. Hey.
And I don't think I would have said that before a week of listening to, like, Moths to Flames on repeat.
Yeah.
Because Day to Remember has so many catchy songs, but, like, it overshadows some of the songs that aren't. And
Yeah.
like listening to this, like I said, I didn't have to skip a single song. There was no Viva la Mexico.
Yeah.
And like they didn't change who they were at all. So like I feel like you know me, how I listen to music. I like to hear the same thing with like progression but in the same genre, and I feel like they nailed that. I think that's what I really enjoy about this band.
Okay. Yeah, I think they are a very solid band. Um, I don't think I don't think Dark Divine was their best album, and I think that's kind of like they fell off with that album.
Okay.
But going to their 2020 album, No Eternity is Gold,
Yeah.
uh, they redeemed themselves drastically. I think they're trying new things. So like I can't hate on the band. I don't think it's a bad album. Don't get me wrong. And I like Moths to the Flames a lot. And originally this was my idea to do this.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they have a bad album if we're looking in metalcore genres.
Yeah.
I will say if we compare them to Asking Alexandria has one album that would beat all of their albums,
Only one.
and everything else is not nearly as good.
Stand Up and Scream.
Yes, their very first album, and they changed. So this album I like a lot. Habitual Decline is my favorite song from the album. It slaps. It's so good. It's kind of got some singy in it. But it's not like overly singy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I think it's a good balance for them because I don't think he has the best singing voice, but I think if he balances it right, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one song I can't think of it off the top of my head that we've been using for our TikToks? What song is that one?
I can't remember right now either. Damn.
Because I know it's off this album. 100% it's on this album.
Yeah.
But I can't think
of what it is.
Yeah.
Where do you put this album for you?
This album sits A tier first slot.
A tier first slot?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think that they're gonna come out with something great after that EP.
Such high hopes.
Yeah,
like
because like this album was so good too, like as well. And I haven't listened to it enough. Even though it came out in 2020, I didn't even realize it came out until like what, a month ago. And then we started talking about it.
And you're like, wait,
dude,
what?
I was like, yeah, dude, they released an album in 2020. I didn't even see it. I didn't even realize they did it.
Right.
And we started listening to it. Or I started listening to it. And I was like, let's do a tier list on it.
The Water Drowned in Flames. Burning Water Drowned in Flame. That's what we've been using for TikTok.
Okay.
I thought so, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong.
Yeah. So I just like I was like listening to it and I was like, oh, let me listen to more like Moths to Flames. And like, did they put out an album that I didn't catch? And like that's kind of like what happened there. And I was like, dude, it's actually so good. But I haven't heard it enough. Like Eye for an Eye, like the first album that we did, their second album. Like I've listened to that album so many times. Like through and through. Like I said, I don't think there's a bad song on it at all. But going to the last album, their first album, When You Don't Exist, came out in 2011. Where do you have that album?
S2.
S2?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a great album.
It really is.
And that's where I put it too. Dude, GNF. That song goes dumb hard.
It goes knuck and foots.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yes.
So funny.
Yeah. It's probably got their three most iconic songs. GNF, You Won't Be Missed, and The Worst in Me. Yeah.
Also still kind of tied with Learn Your Place.
Yeah. And then I like Trophy Child a lot too. Yeah. So Dude, I think they're if they put out another album of the caliber of the first two albums, I think they're an S tier band in my opinion. Because that's
Agree.
well, I think you agree now.
Yeah,
I don't think they even need another album.
I still need another album just to solidify. Because if it goes in that third spot,
Yeah,
because if we pop EPs in, there's more S's up there. So like,
yeah,
essentially, they would be an S tier band at that point.
yeah. Like I don't think they've done anything wrong so far. I just wish this album was better. And maybe I'm being a little too harsh. Maybe this should be B because like there's some space there. I just think that it doesn't mesh well with these four,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So what I kind of grasped from it. So I don't know. You've taught me a lot of things about music and have changed the way I listen to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've started to open my brain while listening to certain types of music. And I think that's why I really vibed with this album because it did have a completely different like tone to it, but it still was like I still wasn't like, you know what, this isn't like Moths of Flames, like what's going on?
Yeah.
And I think that's where you've unlocked that little brain switch
Yeah.
that I can actually like listen to different types and not be like, oh, they changed it.
Yeah.
So like I'm getting a lot better. I mean, it's taken me a year and a half.
I think
But
hey, it's all right.
yeah.
But I think Dark Divide was a great stepping stone for No Eternity is Gold because like that album is completely different from the other three too because
Yeah.
like they're much more technical. How he's writing is way different.
Yeah.
And I know he does a lot of the art himself. He draws.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
His last name is Rotier, I think. But I
Okay.
think his first name is Chris. I follow him on Instagram.
Nice.
And he posts like a bunch of just crazy art and stuff that he does and draws.
That's legit.
So I think like he's being more creative, especially through being in going through COVID and stuff.
Okay.
Where like they weren't making a bunch of music and
That
whatnot.
makes sense, yeah.
So he probably had a lot more time to write. So I bet you they're about to release probably another I would guess another
Probably
album.
2022.
Yeah.
Then we'll go on that tour.
Oh, for sure.
I definitely need to see them. Like they are on my I need to see 22 list.
I've seen them live.
There's
I
about
recommend.
there's about 6 bands currently on that list.
Because
And it's
we've
only
listened-
bands I've never seen. So like there's no one on my I have to see in 2022 that I've seen.
Okay.
But like there's bands that I'm like, well fuck, I haven't seen them. But also to me, if I saw them at a festival, I still need to see them.
Yeah, a festival versus
So like
an actual show is very different.
like I need to see Ice 9 show.
Yeah.
I want to see the theatricalness.
Yeah.
So like that's my top tier of like need to sees. So like, you know, like Moths of Flames just wanted to, you know, hop on a tour with them. I wouldn't complain at all.
They're from Ohio. They started in Columbus.
Moths?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
they might tour with did they tour with Devil at all?
I think it's the first time I seen them. Yeah, was when I went to Devils Wear Prada and at Agora.
Nice.
Yeah, because I think it was them I think it was Bad Omens, them Motionless, and then like Moss or then Devils Wear
Yeah.
Prada. Yeah,
Okay. Nice.
I think that was the tour. I've seen Motionless 3 times now. I think.
I've only seen Motionless at festivals. So
I've never been hugely impressed by Motionless.
I wasn't impressed until I found out that those 5 songs in that like Bang Your Head challenge were all Motionless, and then my brain was like, "Oh, I should download Motionless." Just because I don't like them live doesn't mean I shouldn't like their music, and I've been listening to them too a lot.
Well, yeah, I like a lot of I like goddamn the album that Abigail came on. I love that album.
Yeah.
I can't remember it for the life of me.
So the one with Abigail.
Yeah, I believe so. But I also really like that when they do that one with Spencer.
Yes.
But also, I've seen them live at their own show in Columbus too. Now I think about it, like Moss of Flames.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I also saw the Plot and You there as well.
Ah,
Yeah.
Creatures.
Yes.
The one that because they still make Creature merch everywhere.
Yeah,
That's their go-to
probably their most popular album. I would venture a guess.
for sure.
But thank you guys for watching. We kind of rambled about just music in general, and we'll catch you in the podcast.